I'll be sharing 3 ways to stop wasting time procrastinating and overthinking. How many of you find it difficult to start something new? Or maybe you find yourself spending hours waiting around for that perfect idea. Or maybe you're someone who just feels confused about doing anything and everything. If you can relate to any of those statements, this video is for you. I always thought that we wasted time because we were lazy or we were indecisive. And while some of these things may be true for you, there actually is a deeper reason why we feel that way. And today I'm going to introduce you to 3 ideas that are going to help you break through them. One of my favorite books is called Flow. I was recently rereading it on the Blinkist app. Flow talks about flow state, which is experienced by musicians, rappers, singers, athletes when they're in the zone. When they're performing at such a high level, they even forget space, time, and everything around them, and you get to see art or magic in real life. Now, there are a lot of amazing lessons inside Flow, but one of my favorite ones is this discussion when you're looking at skills versus challenges. How many of you have ever felt that you don't have the best skills in an area and the challenge feels really high? Chances are, if you've experienced that, you end up feeling frustrated or stuck and disappointed in yourself, and that's one of the reasons why you start overthinking and procrastinating. You don't have the skills, you have a challenge or a goal that's set really high, and now you feel overwhelmed and overburdened by the height of that target that you just give up and stop working. Sometimes we have the opposite experience, where our skill is really high, but actually we haven't looked at our challenges. We've been doing the same thing over and over again. We've been repeating the easy win. And in that situation, we sometimes feel bored, lost, or confused. We feel like our life doesn't have meaning, it doesn't have purpose, and there's nothing exciting or thrilling about the work that we do. The author goes on to say that flow is achieved when our skill meets our challenge. So when we really want to experience that flow state, being in the zone, feeling that momentum, feeling that energy, thriving, we have to make sure that our skill and challenges match. Are we feeling frustrated and stuck because our skills are too low and our challenges are too high? Or are we feeling bored because our skills are too high and our challenges are low? In either case, we want to focus on either increasing our skills or increasing our challenge. That helps us focus on the area that we actually need to have an impact, and we stop wasting time with all the distractions. So now, instead of procrastinating and overthinking, we start focusing on a list of things that can help us improve our skills. You have books, coaching, mentors, communities, courses. All of these are phenomenal ways to start learning. Now, if you're someone who needs to increase your challenge can be increased through networking. I remember when I used to speak or get invited to speak at colleges and schools. I love that experience. I still do it today whenever I can. But at one point I realized I wanted to stretch my comfort zone. Then I started working with corporate companies because I really wanted to help organizations build new models of thinking. Today, I work with so many Fortune 500 companies and enjoy the experience deeply, but I also wanted to extend my challenge beyond that. I started speaking on stages. I started speaking at my own events. What I've found is that you can extend your challenge by increasing your goals or targets, or by changing the scale or the depth. Sometimes we challenge ourselves by trying to affect more people, do more things, and sometimes we challenge ourselves by going deeper in the areas we're already in. And finally, a new way of challenging yourself is a new industry. When you think about someone like Michael Jordan, who went off to play baseball, or you think about Steve Jobs, who went into movies and Pixar and animation. People have challenged themselves across industries when they've truly mastered their field. So the question I want you to answer is this. Instead of procrastinating and overthinking, do you need to work on your skills or do you need to work on your challenges? And you'll know where to start. Another book that's had a big impact on the way I think is called The Organized Mind by Daniel Levitin. Now, I read this book a long time ago, but I've been using the Blinkist app again recently to dive back into the key themes of this book, and the blinks have been so useful. One of my favorite concepts from this book that truly changed the way I think is around decision fatigue. Now, I want you to take a moment to just jot down what are the decisions you make every morning before you've got out of bed, before you get into your commute or start your workday. Chances are you spend a lot of time thinking about what to wear, what to eat that morning. You might even think about what to eat for lunch, what to eat for dinner. You might be wondering around what movie you're going to watch tonight, what episode of which show you're going to watch when you get back. You may even be thinking about what meeting do I have? What person do I have to connect with today? What do I even have to do today? These are very common things for a lot of us. The concept of decision fatigue teaches us that so many of us are making so many insignificant decisions in the morning that by the time we start our workday, we're already exhausted from making decisions. We overthink about the smaller things that should be easy, and now we have no energy for the bigger things that do require our attention and our awareness. I want you to create a table of decisions to make the night before and decisions to make the day of. What that's going to help you do is give you something to focus on the night before so that you can be prepared and well ahead of schedule before the next day, and be really clear about what you can only do on that day. Now, the night before, you want to be doing that either at the end of your workday or just after dinner. The reason is because at the end of your workday, you can set yourself up for success the next day. For those of you that want to leave it till after dinner, the reason why I say after is because we make better decisions when we're eaten and when we've nourished. So what we're essentially doing with decision fatigue is that we're stopping ourselves from overthinking about the smaller, irrelevant to some degree, insignificant decisions to the more significant decisions. Now, I'm not saying that eating food is not important. I'm not saying that what you wear every day is not important. I take pride in what I eat and what I wear, but when I've meal prepped, when I've made a plan a week in advance, when I've made it simple for myself, my brain gets capacity and space to make these big decisions. A really great example of this is Mark Zuckerberg, Barack Obama, and others who've been known to wear the same suits or the same clothes again and again on repeat. Now, this is something I personally had first-hand experience of living as a monk. Every day we woke up and we wore robes. We had 2 sets, one to wear, one to wash. It simplified that energy in the morning. Now today, of course, I don't wear robes, I'm not a monk anymore, and I have a wardrobe that I enjoy, but inside of it, I have many different things, but I have them in many different colors. That way, I still have somewhat of a uniform that simplifies that, or I make a decision the night before. This third model changed my life the first time I heard about it. It's called the DISC model. The DISC model was founded by William Marston, I believe, in 1928. What it does is that it breaks down all of our personalities into 4 types: dominance, influence, compliance, or steadiness. Are you more outgoing or are you more reserved? Now, neither of these is an advantage or disadvantage. Neither of them makes you better or worse. We all just have a natural inclination. An outgoing person is the life of the party. They're dragging everyone onto the dance floor. They're the one directing the conversation. A reserved person may be as confident, but they're more likely to get into a one-to-one discussion. They're more likely to have an intimate conversation on the side. They're observant and listening carefully. The second question is, are you more people-oriented or task-oriented? People-oriented people are thinking about people's experiences. Are people having a good time? Are they engaged? Are they enjoying themselves? Task-oriented people are like, Jay, you've got 5 minutes before this video ends and the camera battery dies and we're not so sure if this mic's gonna last, right? Like, they're thinking about the task. They're focused on making sure that everything about the task is taken care of. I think about people and tasks, but I think about people first. You are one of 4 things. You're either outgoing in task, which makes you a D type. You are outgoing in people, which makes you an I type. Or you're reserved in task, which makes you a C type. Or you're reserved in people, which makes you an S type. So D types are doers. They get stuff done. They make plans. They keep schedules. They have deadlines. They get results fast. The I type, the influential, these people are ideators. They're inspirers. They influence people. They persuade people. They're great negotiators. They're great speakers. And these people are really good at talking. Now we have the compliance. These people are cautious, they're calculative, they're quality oriented. They want to make sure that things work. and that things happen on time and that they're as perfect as they can be. They focus on being perfectionists. These are the people that send you emails telling you you have spelling mistakes in your emails. We need them. They make things work. And finally, steadiness. These people are supportive, they're helpful, they care about people, they have a high emotional intelligence and a high sensitivity towards people's feelings. What I love about this model is that it shows us how everyone is needed to build an effective team, to build an effective company, to have an amazing family. Without the D types, we'd never get things done. Without the I types, we'd never be enthusiastic and energetic. Without the C types, things may not work best. And without the S type, people wouldn't feel satisfied and content. It's so important that we understand all four. As Einstein said, everyone's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing that it's stupid. Many of us overthink and procrastinate because we're operating in a different lane. We're trying to be an I-type when we're a D-type. We're trying to be a C-type when we're an S-type. We're trying to be something we're not, and that drains us. Focus on your strengths, outsource your weaknesses, and develop the skills in between, and watch how your life changes. There's a great conversation between Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Steve Jobs, the brand of Apple, Steve Wozniak, the tech behind Apple. And in this conversation, Steve Wozniak looked at Steve Jobs and he said, "What do you even do? You're not an engineer, you're not a marketer, what do you even do?" And Steve Jobs in Steve Jobs fashion replied, "Musicians play their instruments, I play the orchestra." Now, although that statement was very bold, what it was talking about was this really subtle point, that he understood his role. He understood that he was able to bring it all together and get it to work in harmony to create magic. This understanding and recognition that you have a genius, you have potential, you have a skill that only you have and that you can bring. So don't overthink and procrastinate about who you're not like or how you're not like that person that's doing what you want to do. Focus on the skills you do have and start